Hello all, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will completely go through how a traditional device onboarded to local AD, and from local AD how it uploaded to Azure AD, and from management point of view how we can migrate the management capability of a device from on-prem SCCM to Microsoft Intune. So in traditional enterprise environment, we are still using PXE, SCCM PXE to image brand new devices, or you can say bare metal devices. Means the device which doesn't have operating system installed. So this is still many environments are using this standard process to onboard a device to their environment. So the most common process is deploying task sequence, SCCM task sequence to the devices. The desktop engineer, they will connect the devices to the LAN of Office network, and to the task sequence, the device will be onboarded to SCCM as well as their on-prem media. If you see in my screen, this is a task sequence that is named Windows 11 H2, maybe the operating system H2. This task sequence I have deployed on a VM, and the VM is going through the PXE process. And once this VM completed the PXE process, it will be onboarded in my SCCM environment as well as in my local AD. This is the log you can prefer for SCCM PXE from the SCCM server. Now I will show how it will be onboarded to our local AD. So the task sequence I have created, or the task sequence that you deploy on your end devices. If you see, this is deployed to all unknown computers, means the devices in an SCCM, or the device entry that is not created in SCCM. Task sequence is deployed as an available mode on the devices. And if you see the task sequence step, in one of the steps that is apply network settings, we have mentioned the local OU path where this system should be domain joined. If you see, this is the path. There is a OU that is called PXE client. So under PXE client OU, we are staging this domain joined devices that we are doing the PXEs. Now I will show the OU where it should store that device hostname or join the device. This is my domain controller, and if I go to Active Directory users and computers, so if you see, this is the OU that is PXE client where the device should be domain joined or should be staged under this OU. So that if you see, this is empty right now because the device still not completed the PXE process. So once that the network settings is completed, the device host name will automatically page on this volume. Yeah. If you can see, the device was being created and the device that was exe imaged is automatically joined to domain local ID. So this is the computer name. So the device is now on the local ID join. The device image is completed. So we'll log in with our human credential, human user ID and password credential. Let me log in with human user ID credential. You will see the device is logging with local ID, user ID and password. So if you see, I have successfully logged in with my domain ID and credential. If you see, the device is joined to domain that is cloud.com. So this is my Active Directory domain called Active Directory domain where the device is added. And if we see the SCCM console also, you can see the device is onboarded to SCCM as the client installation is part of the task sequence. If you see the client system, you go to control panel, you can see the SCCM client has been installed. And this is our viewing point. And if you see also, the management is visible because this device is clearly local ID join device and managed by SCCM. So we will run the SCCM policy. If you see, this is a collection, this PXC client. So this collection, we have created another dynamic collection, the device which will onboard it with task sequence will automatically add it to the collection. And the query I have used, I have fetched the host name from this OU, the PXC client OU. If you go to properties and show me the rule that I use, that is this query rule, which is to fetch the device details from the OU, that is PXC client. This is the query I use. So this query will run and check the device that is part of the OU automatically added to this SCCM collection. If you see the co-management eligible device, so co-management eligible device SCCM will automatically use or create this collection for co-management eligible device and it will automatically add the device to this collection. So if we see the dynamic collection that we have created, if I run the query, it is successfully showing us the host name, which is successfully fetched the device name under the PXC OU. It is covering as the correct host name of the device. Means what SCCM collection dynamic queries for the correct. So now we are in process to make our environment as a hybrid environment. So right now the environment is purely based on local ID and the device is managed by SCCM. So before you can configure hybrid Microsoft Entra join and co-management, you first need to install Microsoft Entra Connect. That is the tool provided by Microsoft, and you can download it from your Azure portal itself. So let me tell you the purpose of this tool. The purpose of Microsoft Entra Connect is to synchronize the identities between our on-premises Active Directory and Microsoft Entra ID. Means it provides or it acts as a bridge between the local AD identity and our Microsoft tenant identity. So without this synchronization, Microsoft Entra ID won't know about our object. Local AD object means our users and devices. So until our Microsoft Entra ID don't know about our users or device, the device cannot be a hybrid join, because they need to exchange the identity between local AD to Microsoft Entra ID. So what this tool do? The tool generally synchronize objects from local AD to Entra ID. So it synchronizes users from on-premises of the Active Directory to Microsoft Entra ID. Also synchronize groups so that the groups can be used in Intune. Synchronizes devices to enable the hybrid Microsoft Entra join. Also, it provides a single identity so that user can access both on-premises and cloud resources with the same account. So now we are downloading this and we install it on our domain controller. This is I am downloading on my domain controller. So once it is downloaded, we will start the install process. So this is downloaded. This is a MSI file, and we will now install the MSI file here. It is installing. So before we configure this hybrid Microsoft Entra join and co-management, we must install this Microsoft Entra Connect so that our user group and device currently which are existing only on on-prem can get identity of Microsoft Entra also and cloud services. So Microsoft Entra Connect act as a bridge between Active Directory and Microsoft Entra ID. It synchronizes users, group and device so that the same identity become available in the cloud. So now we will proceed with the installation, but before installation, just one thing you need to keep remember, Microsoft Entra Connect like doesn't replace your local Active Directory. It only synchronizes identity information to Microsoft Entra ID. Means your objects like users, group, and computers continue to be managed by your local Active Directory unless like you migrate it to your intranet environment. So in this step, it is asking for Microsoft Entra Connect installation, sorry, configuration to provide global administrator identity in Microsoft Entra site. So we have to put a global administrator account here, and this account is like used only during the configuration process. This configuration process to establish a trust between our on-premises Active Directory and Microsoft Entra ID. So let's use our global admin account over here. So if I go to your Azure portal, so we'll search our global admin ID here. So this is my global admin account ID. Just copy the ID here. I will paste it over here. And if you think like why it is asking for global administrator or hybrid identity administrator, so because we have like after giving the ID here, the ID that we will provide here, the permission are required. The such permission are required because Microsoft Entra Connect needs to make some changes to the Microsoft Entra tenant, such as configuration and synchronization and enabling or hybrid Microsoft Entra join. And for your enterprise environment, production environment, so it is always preferred to use the less privileged role, and which is hybrid identity administrator. But in my lab environment, I will use global administrator here account. So here you provide our global admin ID, and now we'll click on next. And once you click on next, it will ask for our ID and password of the Entra global admin, Microsoft Entra global admin. Or if you are using the less privileged account, that is the hybrid identity administrator, it will ask for the user ID and password of that account. Now, if you see, it is asking for another Active Directory domain service enterprise administrator credential. So what is this account and why it is required? So now you have like authenticated with Microsoft Entra ID without global admin, Microsoft global admin account. So the next step is to, or this step is to connect to our on-premises Active Directory. So once both these connections are established, Microsoft Entra Connect can begin the synchronization identity between this on-prem and our Microsoft Entra environment. So Microsoft Entra Connect need access to both environment so it can synchronize the identity between them. That's why we have to put our global admin account with Microsoft Entra as well as enterprise admin credential or of our EDDS local ID. So here we will put our enterprise admin account, and again, like, why we need this enterprise admin account. So this permission like will allow Microsoft Interconnect to read the Active Directory, configure synchronization, and create the required object and permission needed for hybrid Microsoft Entra join. So here I am using our DDS local enterprise admin account. So in production environment, Microsoft always recommend installing Microsoft Interconnect on a dedicated server installed on a domain controller. But for the lab, we are using the domain controller. So if you see this screen, this is the next screen you will get after providing your ADDS or local AD enterprise admin account. Microsoft Enter sign-in configuration. So if you see, it is written over the like why it is needed. To use on-premises credential for Microsoft Entra ID sign-in, UPN prefix should match one of the verified custom domain in Microsoft Entra. The following table lists the UPN service defined in your on-premises environment along with the matching custom domain in Azure. So what does it mean? Like Microsoft Entra Connect is checking whether the UPN user principal name suffix used in our on-premises Active Directory matches or verified custom domain in Microsoft Entra ID. So this allows user to sign in with same username both on premises and in the cloud. So in my cases, in my lab cases, the domain that Entra domain, that is Intune trial or .9 or on Microsoft.com is not added, and Contoso.com not added, and corp.contoso.com not verified. So I have added the corp.contoso.com as a custom domain in my Entra, but I have not verified that. For lab environment, it is not required to verify, but in production environment, the UPN service must be or Microsoft must be verified on Microsoft Entra ID end. If you see, it is showing us not verified because this pod.contoso.com is an internal Active Directory domain. This is not a registered domain in the internet. Since this has not been added and verified Microsoft Entra ID, means it is added but it is not verified. The user report it's not verified. This is expected in dev environment, but in a production environment, this domain must be verified on your Microsoft Entra ID. And like seeing, as I told, like why it is required. So seeing not verify here doesn't like prevent hybrid Microsoft Entra join or co-manage in a lab. However, in production environment, it is always we see this domain has been verified in Microsoft Entra end. If you see in custom domain in our Microsoft Azure, I have added this, but I have not like verified this domain. Okay. So in production environment, if you see there is txt record that is showing on the screen. This txt record must create or must record in the public DNS zone of the domain. So once Microsoft detects this TXT record, it confirms that we own this domain. So what is the purpose of this TXT record and verify the domain? As I told before, like once this domain is verified, user can sign in with a friendly corporate VPN. Like in my cases, ramesh.computer.com instead of the account that is ramesh.Intune trial and that big domain name dot on Microsoft.com. So here we cannot verify this corporate.com. As I told previously, like this is an internal domain. So in a real environment, you generally cannot verify a internal domain unless this internal domain like corporate.com actually own the corresponding public DNS. Okay, so we kept this as not verified. Now it is showing us that it is ready to configure. We click on now configure option. So it will take some time to configure this. So it is configuring the synchronization service. And once it is configured completely, it will show you a success. And after that, the configuration will be completed. So it is verifying synchronization service connectivity to Microsoft Entra ID. Now, if you see, the configuration is completed, and we have closed the configuration wizard. So here we forgot to configure the device option. So here we will configure the device, like so that the device can sync to Microsoft device identity can sync to Microsoft Entra. If you see, these are the option. So this device option, actually, what is this device option? So this stage we need to decide how our device will sync or integrate its identity with Microsoft Entra ID. Like since our computer already joined in our on-premises Active Directory, here we select configure hybrid Microsoft Entra ID join. This allows our domain joined devices to automatically register with Microsoft Entra ID while remaining members of our on-premises domain. There are other two options, that is configure device write back and disable device write back. So configure device write back is, so this option enable like a device write back like the device when created in Microsoft Entra ID that need to be written back on or on-premises Active Directory. So in that cases, we need Microsoft this configure device write back, and disable device write back is to just disable that option. So now we'll move next. So once you click on next, it is showing Windows 10 and later domains and devices. We'll click on that and simply click on next. So now if you see, this page is to configure SCP. So what is SCP? SCP stands for Service Connection Point. SCP is if you see the description, it is showing the service connection point is used by our devices to discover Microsoft Entra ID tenant information. If our devices are in different forests, each forest needs a separate SCP. Microsoft Interconnect can configure the SCP for you and also provide a script for you to configure the SCP. So this service connection point, what it actually do, like it tells our on-premises devices uh, to like uh, register on an Entra tenant, which means the device should know on which Entra tenant they need to be registered once a hybrid join is configured. So that is done by the SCP. SCP tell the devices that you need to join this Entra tenant. So SCP basically contains the tenant information and provide this information to each and every device that is present on our local AD so that the devices can reach to that specific tenant. Now we'll click on next. So once we click on this, it will ask our enterprise admin ID again. We need to provide the enterprise admin ID here. So it is now configured. You can see the enterprise admin ID. We'll click on next and it is ready to configure again. So we'll click on even configure. It is configuring and it is creating the service connection point. So the service connection point is configured and for device read policy also configured. So if you see the configuration is completed. We'll click on exit. So now once we open the Information Service Manager from the start menu, we can see the configuration status. So if you see the configuration showing a success. So you can see the object details that has been synced from local on-premise ED to Microsoft Entra. So if you see our domain join computer uh, that was present on our PXCOE has successfully synced to Microsoft Entra ID. So now that computer will be present in the Microsoft Entra ID also. Means in our Microsoft Entra AD. The device will also now it is part of local AD as well as Microsoft Entra ID. And now once the device is synced to Microsoft Entra ID, so now the device is part of both local AD and Microsoft Entra AD. Now we can call this device, that is this hostname, init hyphen something. The device name is a hybrid device because the device identity is shared between local AD as well as Microsoft Entra ID. So for synchronization issue, you can check this synchronization service manager. From this, you can see like the adds, updates, delete. These are the what are the object has been added, updated. You can see from this synchronization manager. So this information statistics help administrator verify how many objects were present and whether any information changes occur. So this is a good tool when you will troubleshoot something like user or computer doesn't appear in the AAD, means our Entra ID. In that case, we can check the synchronization result from this synchronization service manager tool. So we can now confirm that uh, my user ID and computer object have synchronized successfully. So next we will verify the device in our Microsoft Endpoint. Now when we search the device, you can see the device is present in local ID as well as in Microsoft Entra. And it is a join type. If you see in join type, it is showing us Microsoft Entra hybrid join. And if you see the register status, it is showing us pending. So after some time, we see it will successfully register to this Entra ID. Now, if you see the device is Microsoft Entra as well as local part of local, so the device become the hybrid join device. So at this point, our device is successfully Microsoft hybrid uh, hybrid Microsoft Entra join device. However, like the hybrid join doesn't mean that the device is co-managed. So hybrid join means that device's identity is shared between the locality and Microsoft Entra ID. While co-managed means the managing of device capability of managing the device capability is shared between SCCM and Intune. So making a device on the hybrid doesn't mean you can manage the device from Intune. Hybrid is the like the identity shared between locality and Microsoft Entra. And Kubernetes always define how the managing capability of the device is shared between SCCM and Intune. This is very important difference. So now what we will do, we will configure our SCCM infrastructure to make the device co-managed. So for that, we must enable co-management in our SCCM. Also, we need to enable configure automatic enrollment, ensure the device enrolls into Intune, and then begin shift the workload. So shifting the workload is a separate chapter. So I will cover the workload video in next upcoming video, workload topic, because that is a separate topic and that needs a separate video. So in this video, we will configure our SCCM infrastructure to automatically enroll the device into Intune. If you see the device management, the device is hybrid joint, but that, as I told you previously, doesn't mean the device is co-managed. So the device is showing us disabled. The co-management ability showing that this device is disabled. Also, if you see the co-management status in the SCCM, it is showing us blue. So till now we have connected our on-premises AD on our Microsoft Entra AD. Now it's time to connect our SCCM infrastructure to Microsoft Intune. For that, the first step is attaching the cloud. The cloud attached. So you need to go to administration. Under administration, you will get cloud service. Under cloud service, you will get cloud attached. So inside this cloud attached, you need to configure the settings so that our SCCM infrastructure can communicate with our Intune. So Microsoft recommend using the default settings because they actually enable several cloud integration features. This including uploading configuration manager device to the Intune admin center, enabling endpoint analytics, and preparing the environment for automatic Intune enrollment and co-management. So in customized settings, you can choose like which particular device you want to enroll to Intune. So at this stage, we are not moving any workload yet. We are simply establishing the connection between configuration manager and our Intune tenant. The actual co-management configuration and workload shifting will happen in next step. The co-management configuration will happen in the next step, but the workload shifting, I will create a separate video for that. So if you see, we have it is asking for user ID and password. So you need to put user ID and password. So here we are providing our user ID and password. It is our global Intune admin ID, global administrator, and we are putting the password. So it got signed in with our Microsoft global admin account. Microsoft global Intune admin account. We will click on next. Here is a crucial step. Why this is a crucial step? When I click on yes, configuration manager automatically create an application registration in Microsoft Entra ID. Means the application Microsoft Entra ID application will create in our Entra ID. This application will use as the trust between SCCM and Intune. It securely authenticate to Microsoft Entra ID so that configuration manager can upload device information, synchronize collection, enable cloud attach, and support management feature. Just keep remember this is not an application that gets installed on client device. Instead, it's a service principal that will be created in Microsoft Entra ID that configuration manager use to communicate securely with the cloud service. We click on yes, click on next. Now it is configuring the cloud attached as well. It is creating an enterprise application, means Azure Ready Enterprise application in Microsoft Entra ID Center. So if we go to portal.azure.com, we will actually see that enterprise application that is created on Microsoft Entra AD. And as I told you, why this enterprise application created? Because SCCM required a secure identity to authenticate with Microsoft Entra ID. So instead using like username and password, it use this Microsoft enterprise application like with the required permission to securely communicate with cloud service. If you see here one Azure service, and this is that application that we are talking about, enterprise application. This is the enterprise application that the same application will be created on Microsoft Entra AD. So if you see, this is the same application that we have shown in SCCM under Azure Cloud Service. So if we go to our enterprise application in Microsoft Entra, we can see the enterprise application that created at the time of cloud attach is showing overall Microsoft enterprise application. So it is asking for some permission requested. When we click on when we click on this grant admin consent for Intune, it is showing some permission that is required. So like what is this permission and why it is required? So by accepting this permission, we are allowing configuration manager enterprise application to access specific Microsoft Graph and Configuration Manager API required for cloud attach and CoManagementHandler. And if we go to each permission, so you see the first permission is showing write CM collection data. So by the name, you will get like this is a permission that is allow the configuration manager cloud service to write collection membership information. So this you will like see there are some cloud sync that happen. So cloud sync is like you can say a process that you can by which you can create and sync SCCM collection to a specific Entra group. So this permission is used to synchronize configuration manager collection with the cloud so that they can be used for cloud attach and co-management scenarios. Next is like CM collection, read CM collection data. This permission also allows configuration manager to read collection information from the cloud. It helps keep collection data synchronized between configuration manager and Intune. Then the third is read directory data. This is a permission that Microsoft Graph permission. This is kind of a Microsoft Graph permission that allow configuration manager to read information about user group and device in Microsoft Entra ID. It does not modify directory object, it only reads them because it's a read access. And the fourth one is sign in and read user profile. This is Microsoft identity permission that allows the application to verify the administrator who is signing in and identify in the tenant. So once you click on accept, the configuration manager will receive the permission it required to securely communicate with our Microsoft Entra ID. This enables cloud data feature such as uploading device, synchronizing file collection, enabling endpoint analytics, and supporting co-management capabilities. Now we'll click on accept. We accept this permission. You will see all the permission details if we expand this permission tab. We clicked on accept, the permission accept, and under admin consent you will see the permission that has been accepted. Now if we go to cloud attached properties, there are different tabs you will see, and every tab has its own functionality. So before we go to that properties of this cloud attached, there is a very important thing that is that configured in Microsoft Entra, like the automatic enrollment configuration. So means like while the automatic enrollment happen, how we can manage those automatic enrollment. We should not enroll any device automatically in your Microsoft Entra. So we can give a specific, we can give, if you say, we can give specific access to the user who can automatically enroll the devices into Microsoft Entra. Means if we click on none, no user will be automatically enrolled into Intune. If we click on some, only users who are members of the selected Microsoft Entra group will be automatically enrolled. So this option is commonly used for pilot deployment. And if you see in your tenant that this is configured in all, so means every licensed user in the tenant is eligible for automatic Intune enrollment. This is common after doing this pilot testing completed. Once you click on this automatic enrollment configuration, this MDM URL, this core URL, and terms of use URL, this will be automatically configured. Now we came to the properties of co-management settings in our Intune, in our SCCM console. So as I told, like every tab has its own functionality, interact with Microsoft. So every tab has like own functionality, how our device, SCCM devices can interact or can enroll to Microsoft Intune. We can manage those from these tabs. So the first step, that is configure upload tab. So this tab like controls which configuration manager device are uploaded to the Microsoft Intune Admin Center. So uploading a device here make it visible in Intune for cloud-based features, but it does not automatically enroll the device into Intune or make it co-manage. This tab is only to visible those devices in Microsoft Intune. So if you enable a specific collection here, the device on that specific collection will be visible to Microsoft Intune, but its management capability will still on Configuration Manager. So this step is to make device visible in Intune. So in our lab, we will not enable all the device to be visible in Intune. Instead of we are using that specific PXC client collection to make it available in Intune. So the device under PXC client will be available or visible in Intune, but it will not configured as co-manage until we are mentioning the device in the enablement tab. Now we are in enablement tab. Here we are also using the same collection, that is PXC client. So as I told you before, this collection, what this collection is determining, this collection. So this tab, this enablement tab actually doing the enrollment in of the device. So the device that is part of the PXC client will automatically enroll to Intune and become co-managed. So enablement tab actually do the co-management work, means it actually make the device as a co-managed. But configure upload tab is only to make the device visible in Intune. Configure upload tab will not make the management capability as co-managed in Intune until you are not mentioning the same device into enablement tab. In our case, we only kept the same collection, that is PXC client, means the device which will be onboarded in our SCCM environment will automatically become co-managed from this collection. As you can see, till now the device is showing us no, because we have not committed the configuration that we are doing on cloud touch. Means we have not still enabled the enablement option as well as the configure upload option. So we selected both the collection. Now we will click on apply OK. It will take some time, right? So again, I'm just repeating the difference between configure upload and enablement tab. Configure upload, what configure upload do? Configure uploads always uploads the device to Intune admin center, but enablement tab actually do the enablement to the Intune of the device. Enablement tab actually enable co-management. Configure upload tab is only to make device visible in cloud or in Intune. Enablement tab make device Intune managed. So the enablement tab triggered the automatic Intune enrollment. We click on OK. Now we will see how the device will become as co-managed. So if we go to Intune admin console, you can see the device is showing. The device that is part of PXC client is now showing. And if you see the management of the device type, the management type of the device is showing as managed by config MGM, by SCCM. So now let's log into that device so that we can track the co-management log on the end device. We have logged into the device. Now what we need to do, so once the device is become co-managed, SCCM, until we are not like transferring the workload of those devices, SCCM manage almost everything. Intune like only knows the device exists, receive the device enrollment, but doesn't manage any workload until we are moving the workload from the raw data stack. So co-management doesn't replace configuration manager. Co-management increase the management capability of the device to be managed by SCCM as well as Intune. Now, if you see the device still showing as disabled because the policy is still not applied. The co-management policy is still not applied on the device. So let's open the log. The log option will be C, Windows CCM, then logs. Under logs, you will find the co-management handler log. The co-management handler log will tell us how, like with co-management handler log, we can track the device co-management enrollment process. This is the log. We open the logs, and if you see, it is showing device is not provisioned. Now saying co-management is disabled but expected to be enabled. We will run the machine policy. Once we run the machine policy, we will see the logs progress. If you see the log carefully, it is showing the device is not enrolled yet. All workloads are managed by HCM. Means the device is still not enrolled to or into. See, it is showing that co-management is disabled. Co-management is disabled, expected into configuration, and after that we see that it is successfully queued in enrollment. So it is now registered for auto enrollment of the auto enrollment in Intune. So let's check the further logs. And if we see the further logs, it is showing started in Indian enrollment check. Means now it's started the enrollment of the device. So enrolling, now you will see enrolling device to Indian, trying 1 out of 3. So this logs is now like confirming us like the Indian auto enrollment configuration is working and the co-management configuration for this device is working. And if you see correctly, like the Indian enrollment is now showing a success. A successfully queued Indian auto enrollment means configuration engine has triggered. So here the SCCM has triggered the Intune enrollment process. The enrollment request has been placed in the Windows Indian enrollment queue. And when we saw the started Indian enrollment thread, means the configuration client has started the enrollment process. Enrolling device to MDM, try 1 out of 3. The client is attempting to enroll into Intune. If it fails, it will retry up to 3 times. And the last will show that MDM enrollment succeed. This is the success message. This is the message by which we know that the device is now co-managed. And after seeing this log, if we go to Intune Admin Center as well as SCCM admin, the co-manage and will show us yes. And in the device itself, control panel, if we click on configuration manager, it must see, you must see the co-management capability showing us enabled. So once the enrollment is successful, the configuration manager client reports back to co-management status, back to your management point. So the SCCM console know the device is co-managed. If you see, uh, this is how we need to check the co-management handler.log. And then last time also, if you see there is showing Indian enrollment, enrolled value equals to 1. Means the device is now enrolled into Intune. So let me tell you the flow till now. How was what was the flow of this device to become the co-manager? So this device is hybrid Microsoft. The device was the device was onboarded via SCCM to our uh, on-premises AD. Install the operating system by SCCM. It connects to our on-premises AD, and with our Azure Entra connected, the device became hybrid. Means sync from local AD to Microsoft Entra ID. Then through the cloud attach, the device became co-managed because the device was the pilot part of the pilot collection that we have selected in our enablement tab. So Windows enables the device in Intune. CoManagementHandler.log shown MDM enrollment success. The client sends the co-management status back to SCCM management point. The device appears in both configuration manager console and the Intune admin center as co-managed device. This is how the flow works for a device to become from a on-prem AD device to co-managed device. If you see that after running the policy, it is showing the co-management is enabled and there is a co-management capability value. We will discuss this later video how this value works. And if you go to Intune admin center also, you can see the device is showing as co-managed, although there is another entry, there is the previous entry of the config engineer which will be deleted after some time. Now if we see, if you click on this co-managed device, we are getting a sync option and the device is fully co-managed, and we can, that's why we are getting this option like And you see by default the resource access is showing as Intune management workload, and the configuration and the agent state is showing as healthy, means the SCCM file is installed, communicating properly, and still managing the device. The status message is showing us co-management, means the Windows PC is being co-managed between Microsoft Intune and Configuration Manager. This confirms the device is managed by both SCCM and Intune. And Intune management workload is showing us resource access policies. This is the most important part. It tells you that the resource access workload only moved from SCCM to Intune. Everything else is still managed by SCCM. And if you go to our SCCM console and if you do a refresh, you can see the device is showing as managed yes, because the SCCM client reporting its management status to management point that now this device is a common device. And there is a common command line which we can use to check troubleshoot the management status. So the command is dsregcmd space slash status. So if you see, it is showing Azure AD joined is yes, the device is registered with Microsoft Entra ID Azure AD. It has an identity in the cloud by which it makes the device as hybrid join and command. Domain join yes, the device is domain join in your or on premises Active Directory domain, that is core.contoso.com, means it is still managed by our on premises AD, means the device is hybrid as well as managed. Device authentication status is showing as success. The device successfully authenticated with Microsoft Entra ID because the user ID, the user I have logged in the device has a license, each license assigned. The device certificate is valid. Trust between the device and Microsoft Entra ID is established. You can see our tenant details also, tenant name Intune trial, the MDM URLs means the device, the tenant name is Intune trial, so means the device know which Entra tenant it belongs to. MDM URL, you can see that there are MDM URL, MDM compliance URL and all. So this URL means the Intune auto enrollment is configured. The device knows where to enroll for MDM with this URL. This comes from the MDM user scope, means in previously shown you like MDM user scope. So this URLs are coming from MDM users scope configuration in Entra ID. So the output confirms only that the device is hybrid Microsoft Entra joint. It does not mean the device is co-managed. Co-managed requires additional prerequisites such as MDM user scope, Intune licensing, cloud attached configuration in the configuration manager, and successful MDM enrollment. So if we go through the workflow again, the device was part of on-prem AD. The device joined to Active Directory by that SCCM task sequence. Then the Microsoft Entra Connect sync device object synchronized to Microsoft Entra ID, which then configure hybrid Microsoft Entra joint SCP. Device runs automatic device registration. That's why we are seeing DSRM status, dsregcmd status as yes, and domain joint as yes, by which Microsoft the device become Microsoft hybrid entertainment device, configuration manage count. Then we have done configuration management for auto touch, MDM auto enrollment configured, Intune auto enrollment done, CoManage the device becomes CoManage, and in the next video we will do workload movement of SCCM to Intune. As I told before, like if you are still seeing both the entry, and if you click on this configure your entry, it is showing us device not found, which eventually delete the device, means delete the device, not delete the device, but the device that was saying managed by config engineer will eventually move from the Microsoft Intune admin UI. So it takes some time to remove the device from Microsoft Entra UI. Though the device is already removed from the database, that's why when you clicking on the device and when the API call is uh, done, it is showing in a database. It is not finding that device that was managing by config media only. So that's why once we click on that device, it is showing device not found. So this is how a device management works. So what I have shown you from the scratch, like how the device menu observe what from a device being PXC onboarded to SCCM and local AD only local AD device, the journey to become a hybrid and co-managed device. And with this, we complete the end-to-end demonstration of hybrid Microsoft Entra join and co-management, how it is work, and I hope this is informative for you. Let's keep learning, keep automating, and see you on next video. Thank you.